I recognize the senator from Louisiana.
Mr. President, I get it. I think most of us get it. A lot of moms and dads throughout America tonight are going to lie down and try to sleep and not be able to. And when moms and dads throughout America lie down to sleep and can't, more times than not in America today, they're worried about the cost of living. I get that. These high prices started under President Biden, but that's not why I'm here today. I don't want to blame this on anyone. It is what it is. I just know that you shouldn't have to sell blood plasma in America to go to the grocery store. I just know that you ought to be able to afford a home in America. It's part of the American dream. The cost has gotten way out of hand. When you're having to pay $500,000 if you can get a loan to buy and live in a refrigerator box behind Outback, something's wrong in our country. And don't get me started on the cost of health care and health insurance and all the other daily expenses that moms and dads have. They're worried, and I understand they're worried. That's why I want to talk for a few minutes before I talk about Minneapolis, because I do want to address that. But that's why I want to talk for a few minutes about taxes. And I know some may be thinking, why does Kennedy just talked about the cost of living in America. Why does he want to talk about taxes? I know people think I don't like paying taxes. They're thinking, I'd rather have to listen to OJ jokes for the rest of eternity than to have to pay taxes. Nobody likes to pay taxes. It's the price we pay to live in a civilized society. But this year we have some good news with respect to taxes. And it's a result of changes to our tax code, Mr. President, and you know this well, that we made in the One Big Beautiful Bill. We're told not to call it the One Big Beautiful Bill anymore. There's a new name for it, but frankly, I think the American people are smart enough to know what we're talking about, no matter what name we give to it. As a result of the changes that we made, and when I say we, I don't take any joy in having to point out that this was done with only Republican votes. We tried to entice our Democratic friends to join with us. They chose not to. That's their choice. It's a free country. But the tax changes that we made were made solely with Republican votes, and I'm proud of them. And I hope both Republicans and Democrats take advantage of them. As a result of these tax changes, the American people are going to receive up to $100 billion in tax refunds. $100 billion, not million, $100 billion. What am I talking about? Many people, as you know, Mr. President, who are in the hospitality business are no longer going to have to pay for their 2025 taxes on tips. Not everybody. I don't want to overstate the case. But many of our people in the hospitality industry who make most of their income from tips as a result of the changes we made for 2025, we meaning the Republicans, are not going to have to pay taxes on a portion of those tips. Many folks in 2025, not everyone, but many people in 2025 who worked overtime, they're not going to have to pay taxes, income taxes on that overtime. That also is contributing to this $100 billion that's going to be returned to the American people in tax refunds. In our one big beautiful bill, we also increased the standard deduction for a two-parent or two-income household. We increased the standard deduction by $1,500. It's going to mean a lot of money back in people's pockets. The standard deduction for joint filers is now $31,500. As we were making these tax changes, and we again, regrettably, we did it with only Republican votes. We had to. But as we made these tax changes, we also put in a tax reduction for our seniors. People over 65, not everybody, but many Americans over 65 are going to get a new $6,000 senior reduction. What else did we do? Well, if you pay state and local taxes, real estate taxes, for example, property taxes, we changed the deduction from $10,000 to $40,000. So that means you have a higher deduction on your taxes, means your taxes are going to go down. We increased the child tax credit. It's now $2,200 for every child that you have. We increased it by $200 per child. Many folks, again, I don't want to overstate the case, but many folks who have borrowed money to buy a car and are paying interest will get to deduct a portion of that interest that they pay on their automobile purchase as a result of the changes we made in the one big beautiful bill. And I could go on about other changes we made for small businesses. One in particular, if you're a sub-S corporation, a subchapter S corporation, or you're a limited partnership, or what we call an LLC in Louisiana, that stands for Louisiana Limited Liability Corporation, which means that you're taxed directly on the income that your small business earns. We made permanent the 20% reductions for distributions of business income for LLCs and LLPs and sub-S corporations. So if you add all of these tax changes up, and again, I didn't talk about all of the tax changes in the one big beautiful bill, but if you added the ones up that I talked about, that means an extra $100 billion in people's pockets throughout America. Democrats, Republicans, independents. And most people have more money held out of their check than they owe the IRS. And that's not unusual, particularly when we make tax changes. I mention that because this means that $100 billion people are going to get checks from the federal government. They're going to get money back. God bless them. They deserve it. Now, I've got a couple of tips about how you can get that money back quickly. If you're able to do three things. If you file early, file your tax return. If you want your money back as quickly as possible, file your tax return early. Number two, file electronically. I know for some that's a pain. I don't much like it. I like to file a paper return, but some people like to file electronically. Some people don't. But if you do file electronically, you're going to get your money back from the federal government more quickly. The third thing you need to do is to tell the federal government that you don't want a paper check. You'd like your money deposited directly into your bank account. If you do those three things, file early, file electronically, and tell the IRS that you want the money sent directly, electronically, into your bank account, then you're likely to get your tax refund within 2 to 3 weeks. Your portion of that $100 billion, thanks to the one big beautiful bill that Republicans in the House and the Senate passed.
Mr. President, I get it. Most of us do. Across America tonight, moms and dads are lying down, staring at the ceiling, trying to sleep and failing, not because they're scrolling their phones, not because they drank too much coffee, because they're worried. They're worried about the cost of living, groceries, rent, gas, healthcare. And yeah, these prices didn't fall out of the sky. They started under President Biden. But finger-pointing won't help a single family sleep tonight. This is bigger than blame. No one in America should have to sell blood plasma just to buy groceries. No one should have to spend $500,000 if they can even get a loan to live in what feels like a refrigerator box behind a chain restaurant. That's not the American dream. That's a warning sign. Healthcare? Don't even get started. Insurance premiums, co-pays, prescriptions. It all adds up, and families feel it every single day. So before talking about Minneapolis, because that matters, I want to talk about something that hits every paycheck: taxes. Now, nobody likes paying taxes, let's be honest. Most people would rather listen to bad jokes for eternity than write a check to the IRS. But taxes are the price of a civilized society. And this year, there's real, tangible good news. Because of changes to the tax code, changes passed in what people know as the one big beautiful bill, the American people are about to receive up to $100 billion back. Not million. Billion. That's money going straight back to workers, families, seniors, and small businesses. Here's how. Many workers in the hospitality industry will no longer pay income taxes on a portion of their tips in 2025. Many Americans who work overtime won't pay income taxes on that overtime. The standard deduction for joint filers is now $31,500, up $1,500. Seniors over 65 will see a new $6,000 tax reduction. The state and local tax deduction jumped from $10,000 to $40,000. The child tax credit increased to $2,200 per child. Car buyers can deduct a portion of interest paid on auto loans. Small businesses, LLCs, S-Corp, partnerships now have permanent 20% reductions on qualified business income. Add it all together, and you're looking at an extra $100 billion staying where it belongs, in American pockets. Democrats, Republicans, independents, most people will get refunds, actual checks, because more was withheld than owed. And here's how to get that money fast. File early. File electronically. Choose direct deposit. Do that, and refunds can arrive in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. That matters because it helps families breathe again.